Hi, this is your host. So today we're going to be talking about 5 very interesting facts about animals. So let's get started. Now, for our first fact, we're going to be talking about a mammal that is very close to us in relation, a very close relative of ours, and that is the dog. Now, dogs can eat pretty much anything. They're scavengers, so they will eat just about anything they find. But what do they eat in the wild? Well, there are many things. Of course, they do eat a lot of meat, but they also eat vegetation, berries, fruit, and even bark and leaves. And even though they're known as man's best friend, in the wild, they are very much an enemy to humans because they will steal our food if given the chance. For our next fact, we're going to talk about an animal that is very majestic and beautiful. An animal that is also very lazy and spends a lot of time sleeping, and that is the giraffe. Giraffes like to eat acacia leaves, and they will travel great distances to find the most nutritious and tastiest leaves. And even though giraffes may seem graceful and elegant, they can actually run up to 35 miles per hour. That's faster than most humans. And even though they spend a lot of time eating, they still manage to only eat about 6 to 7 pounds of food per day. For our next fact, we'll be talking about an animal that lives in the water, an animal that has been around since the dinosaurs and has barely changed at all, and that is the turtle. Turtles typically eat aquatic plants and algae, but some turtles are carnivorous and will eat fish, frogs, and even other turtles. And even though turtles are mostly found in water, they are reptiles and are actually more closely related to snakes and lizards than they are to fish. And even though they live in water, they don't drink water with their mouths. Instead, they absorb water through their skin. For our next fact, we're going to talk about an animal that is very sly and cunning, an animal that is also very cute, and that is the red fox. Red foxes will eat pretty much anything, but their favorite food is small rodents such as mice and rabbits. They're also known as opportunistic feeders and will eat fruit, eggs, and even insects. And even though they have a reputation for being sly and cunning, red foxes are actually quite stupid. They're easily caught by predators such as wolves and coyotes, and they often fall prey to cars on the road. For our next fact, we'll be talking about an animal that is truly the king of the jungle, an animal that is feared by most, and that is the lion. Lions are carnivorous, and their favorite food is zebra. They're also known as scavengers and will eat anything they come across, including other animals that have been killed by other predators. And even though lions are the kings of the jungle, they're actually quite lazy and spend most of their time sleeping. Now, before we move on to our final fact, I would like to remind you to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And if you're new here, welcome and make sure to join the family. Now, for our final fact, we're going to be talking about an animal that's not just one animal, but many animals all in one. And I'm talking about the octopus. Now, octopuses eat pretty much anything, but their favorite food is crabs and lobsters. They're also known to be very intelligent and can escape from very difficult situations. And even though they're found in both salt and fresh water, they're actually more closely related to snails and slugs than they are to jellyfish and coral. And now for the big finale. I've saved this animal until last because it's an animal that truly needs no introduction. An animal that is loved by all, and that is the elephant. Elephants are herbivores and their favorite food is grass. They're also known to be very social and intelligent, and they can communicate with each other over long distances using low-frequency sounds. And even though they're the largest land mammal on Earth, they're actually quite clumsy and can easily fall over when they're young. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. And if you're new here, welcome and make sure to join the family. This has been your host. And until next time, remember to stay wild.